are still with me, Zinita Masego from the Sibande Center for Entrepreneurship Rapid Incubator. Thank you for still staying tuned in for part 2. Basically, this is a continuation from our previous discussion with the incubatees within our Rapid Incubator. Earlier on, we actually discussed quite a few critical topics and also shared the experiences that all of the guys seated here had with relations to starting their businesses, accessing finances, the do's and don'ts within business. So earlier on, we actually discussed quite a few topics, mainly because I am seated here with entrepreneurs, some who have been in the space for over 2 years, some who are still new in the enterprise development space. So we actually discussed a topic as to why is it that they started their business, what it is that they do, where are they trading, their turnover, their finances, accountability of all the transactions in their businesses. And we covered a bit of funding. We actually discussed that, do you actually need funding to start a business? Can a business actually start without you having funding? And they actually shared their experience about that as well. But then, as we ended part 1, we're actually discussing the impact the COVID pandemic had in your businesses. And I remember we spoke to you, Tulani, you actually indicated that it actually worked to your advantage because your business actually started doing well during the pandemic. I know that you are in the jungle gym or kids furniture business where you actually manufacture. And yes, we are based in Mpumalanga, but the nice thing is they are trading throughout the country. So Tulani is actually dominating in Johannesburg. But then Tulani, just a recap for us. How did the COVID-19 pandemic work to your advantage?
It's like I was saying earlier on, as parents, we get frustrated if we may be spending too much time with our kids. And then you run out of things or games to play with them and everything. And then during the pandemic, they were sitting in the house doing all those naughty things that the kids get up to because kids will be kids at the end of the day. So when I introduced this thing of kiddies furnitures and jungle gyms, there's other companies that are doing it. So I think, but the biggest thing was I introduced it to a lot of people where they are busy on social media. Then they say, hey, this can actually work for me. And then maybe our pricing was more affordable for them, and then it was easier for them to contact me, and then could respond quicker and everything. So I think that had worked to my advantage, and then during the pandemic I actually picked up.
But then now, since the pandemic and the regulations, they are a bit loosened, how's the business coming still?
I'd say for me it's mostly because of the job that I've done, so because of the referrals and then the marketing that I'm still pushing and everything. I'm actually under pressure now, so I need to expand the team. Now I'm actually under pressure, so I need to grow the team. But now I'm having a bit of challenges there because I'm a person who wants to put quality in everything. So now I'm struggling to get a duplicate of myself to go there when I'm that side and then doing things. So I wanna go everywhere, but then I'm only one, so I'm still struggling to sort that out. But as soon as I get that right, I think we're going to be all right.
On that one, I can also confess to that one. Hey, it is hard to get someone to do the same job as you do. Okay. It's much struggle. But because some people, they can just fool you and say they know how to do it. They are on a delivery day. It's a problem. The customer is waiting here.
Yes.
Then now we are running up and down. Yeah. But as you said, if we put those systems in place.
On how you screen your employees.
And also, if they are working, of how to start that thing, when to do what and when to do what, then I think we can overcome the problem of wanting to duplicate ourselves, getting somebody who works like me. But the system will make them work.
Yeah, I think I can also get into that. Due to the COVID impact, the training actually suffered. Everything stopped. I remember we were in a process of getting a very huge contract with the mine for training. And then that was like instantly stopped because everybody had to go to lockdown, and then we couldn't train, we couldn't do anything. But then already we started channeling the engineering staff and into the business. So now I think that also worked in an advantage, because now the engineering started now picking up, because that was now the engine of money in the company, because it was like an essential at that time, because training was now no longer essential. At some point I took a punch because I was looking at a $1 million contract and then now I have to start all over. God, what am I gonna do? But then we started punching into the engineering, and then as my brothers are saying, to get somebody that's more like it's very difficult. But then you can be also fortunate to have somebody who's got a drive. It's not always about how they do the actual work. Remember, I'm more in the admin side, I'm more in the paperwork and whatnot. Right now, I'm not a physical engineer. Then I had to get somebody that's gonna push more like me, but then just who's physical. Then that's when Patin got into the company. Same drive, same everything. We do different things. He's an engineer, and then I'm more on what I specialize with. So we complement one another. But the drive is there. He's passionate about getting these things right, and then saving money, and then delivering on time. I'm all about time, quality, and so it's like me and him are speaking the same language. That's how we got our engineering too.
It's more of, with my business, I don't think people trust my business as much as I trust my business, because I get questions like, when's jingo? I don't take it as seriously as I take it. So I feel maybe I get a lot of people that want to work with me, but they're saying, okay, because the employment rate is as it is right now, and then I'm going to push until I get something that I want. So because they don't take it as seriously as I take it. So I always explain to them, with I left what I was doing for the past 10 years to do this. So me, I see potential. If you don't see potential, then rather tell me now, and then before you get too involved now, and then later you're going to drop me.
But then while still in this topic here, COVID, I think I'll come back to it, but I just want to divert a bit. Most of you guys, you're speaking about duplicating yourselves, but then now you also have employees. So I just want to understand that, okay, you've started your own business. You have this vision that you are actually trying to share with the next person that you bring on board into your business. But then now you guys it seems like you're not winning. And now I want to understand, how are you guys actually screening in Tasha Kanjani? How are you guys doing it?
For me, it's a challenge, because you put an advert there, and then you state, I want someone who can do this and this and this. And then they come through, you work with them for a week. Say maybe probation kind of situation, and then this person is pushing, and then you see, no, this person, I can work with this person, and then you start trusting them. Maybe you leave them at the job, and then they push their job, but then as time goes on, I don't know what changes. So I'm actually struggling to find a way to screen people who I'm going to work with.
I want to make an example with us as a center, where we started and where we are now. It didn't happen in 1 day. It didn't happen in 2 years. It didn't happen in 3 years. At some point, we were amongst the worst performing center in the country. And that changed. I remember that changed. Now we are one of the most performing centers in the country. Now, in terms of employment, for me, I'd say it would be very wrong for entrepreneurs to want to duplicate themselves from. That is impossible. We do not have the same drive. Me and Zenita sitting there, we are both business development officers. We do things totally different. She has her own way of doing things. I've got my own way of doing things. But at the end of the day, the results are the same. Now, I think what we should install into our entrepreneurs, it's the ability for them to trust. It's very difficult to trust a person with your vision. Yes. And once you are able then to create that environment that for that person to trust. Now, unless you do that, you will always be what we call, you'll be self-employed, because you'll be frustrated, you cannot do anything, because if I'm not there, things are not moving. You'll be forever be self-employed. But also the most critical part is training, self-develop. You must be able to develop these people. You must be able to say, look, okay, this is where we are. umntwana akathi akazana namuhla umfaka next time tomorrow umfaka papa. Then you need to go through stages. So I'm saying in you getting these people, unfortunately they find you guys running. There's no time for you to say, okay, start slow, start by jogging. You want them to get you in with 120 speed, and when you do not have jobs, that's you guys you are late. But when you have jobs, that's where you want to call them in.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't have jobs, it's the best time for you to actually train those people, so that when jobs are coming, you are better prepared. And you must tell them, we are here to make business. This should be your life, because at the end of the month you go, I'm gonna be paying you that particular money. Will be feeding your family.
I think that's where I can come in with the training. I will agree on some of your points, but some I will disagree on the entrepreneurship, on the entrepreneur part of things, which is what we are going through in the actual field. So I will agree on some, but some I won't. When it comes to training a person, it's actually a good initiative. And when you say we should start them as we are not running, it's a good thing, because I got my PA while the business was still starting. She actually approached me to volunteer. And then I was worried. I'm like, what am I going to do with this person without paying them? And then I groomed her. I trained her. I taught her how to do things. That's why even today I'm here. She's at the office. She's managing to run the business in my absentia, which is a good thing. But then when it comes to us having been able to say we need to trust them, and it's something that is not easy into the business to actually say, I will trust this person. Right, but then you can trust the system that you will put in place. It's what's gonna actually work for you, because whether in your absentia, if they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, what the system says, have you communicated that system back to them to say, for the communication that's from up to bottom and from bottom to up, it's what's working into the business.
Yeah, so looking to that matter of training, it's also comes to a point whereby we see most of entrepreneurs, we lack strategy. Strategy is very important, as it creates viable opportunities that facilitate sustainable development and empowerment. So if most of us entrepreneurs can bear that in mind, that in order for you to run a business, it's not a matter of trusting per se, but it's the matter of using your strategy, because it is the one that will be the driver to your business.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's actually, I think we are now aligning ourselves to the same thing, because that has to do with the system. So if we are saying we're struggling to get our duplicates, we are not actually trying to say we want this person to be pulling. Remember, I'm pulling and I'm all a lot of things. I can adapt and be green when I have to be green, and be brown when I have to be brown. It's very difficult for a person to become like me. But what we are saying the drive. That's the duplicate that we are talking about, that it's very, very rare, because the person will come there because it's early, they just got the job, they're excited, they're willing to learn. And now the business is growing. They're talking to a lot of people, they're starting to advise them. Puleng is now a millionaire, and look where you are seated. You can be more like her and all that. They're taking all of this stuff, and then now they're starting to impact the business. You'll see now, the pace that they used to work with, it's now dropping. And whatever that they used to do for you is now dropping, because now there's a lot of information that is circulating around.
But then, Puleng, don't you also think that at some point you have to make your employees feel comfortable and feel a part of that business as well? But not as comfortable per se that they can just do as they please. But then remember, with us as a center, we've got KPIs, and you guys are aware of them. So basically now, for me to keep you, you have to perform. I have to monitor your performance and so on. So maybe you guys have to have performance standards as well that are in place.
Yeah, and you do create that comfort. That is key. Remember, if your employees are not comfortable, it will never happen. But I'm talking from what happened, because now you've put the effort, you've made the person comfortable, you've pushed the person, you've got the KPIs that indicates that you can see this person was really improving. And now there's information. Remember, I just mentioned now there's a
but the certain information that maybe your staff will not know, that would remain in the executive level, right?
And then they get rumors.
No, the thing is, you see the progress of the business as you are working within the business. So if we were doing 5 jobs a month, now we're doing 15 jobs a month. It means there's more money coming in. You understand? So basically, I don't have to tell you the figures and everything, but then
No. Yeah, it's true. But it goes back to what I was saying. the understanding your financial management. It goes back to what I was saying, the only reason you are starting your own business is for you to be able to accumulate, and you've got debts. Yes, you've got 15 jobs, you've got 15 job cards, and every job card that you have has its own cost. So meaning that you're still going to make the same amount of profits as you do per job. So there is absolutely no way we need to be able to train our staff to look. Yes, there's money coming in, but there's also expenses that goes with the with the money. Number two, that's why we give them contracts. Regardless to say the company made 15 million, but our agreement that I'm going to pay you 3,000 per month. That is the agreement that the contract that you sign. So external influence might come in, but also you must under you what you've learned in school in terms of sales. You need to be able to incentivize your staff. You need to make sure that they are happy. Richard Branson says very well. Richard Branson says a happy employee is a productive employee. And how do you make them happy? And how do we take them to certain causes? Do you
staff wellness,
and there's 5,000 rand that we've made today. You decide on them, okay, let me take 200 and hey staff, can we go and have some lunch? You know, like you must be able to make them feel like a family within them. The minute you learn that this is more like a home, you are the father, but these are the kids. They must feel part of the family. How do you do that?
But on that one, I beg to differ just a bit, because like on my side, I don't have those employees that I work with more than 8 months or like that. It's like they're feeling like when they're working on my company, they just there for a moment, they're looking for a job from Sasol and mines and stuff. So I take that person, train them, make them feel comfortable and make them part of the team, then out of nowhere they just disappear like
But do you have an idea why is it that they leave? Do you have an idea maybe why is it that they leave?
That's why
There's something better out there for them.
That's why I was going to the issue of the contract. We sometimes say, let me work with this guy for at least a week or 2 weeks and see how does he perform before we finally contract. Then only to find out with Lomuntu Lona, who's in it just come this discussion. Then that challenge is we issue screen employees. Before with Lomuntu, is he here just to tell you single email for those weeks or here for
Ian, do you also think that you guys are not maybe paying them enough?
No, that's not the case.
I mean, you know, right now government is actually looking into small businesses to actually assist with, you know, the unemployment that we're having as a country. But then if already you guys are having these challenges within your businesses, I think it's much more critical for us to find ways to actually maybe have interventions to fix this. Because in this case, we're not going to win.
It's serious interventions because in our, when it comes to screening, you can screen a person, right? And then you do the interview, obviously. But then remember, everybody's formal in an interview. It's hardly where you will find a person being real. So normally when I conduct my interview, I want to be there, I want to be involved. Then I would try to tell the person, be as honest and calm as possible so that I can actually learn the real you. Remember, I'm also a trainer, right? So you get to learn different personalities of people. Also, the training that I've done for people's management also assists me. So in most cases, I can actually tell when you are lying or when you are not lying, right? But then you find people in interviews, they are so formal, they want to impress you. They want to give you what you said you wanted, right? And then obviously when they start, they will give you that. And now the problem becomes when you are expanding. Remember now, they can see, they work with your invoices and whatnot. No, now there's 70K that came in, and then they notice there's another 70K, right? And then I'm still sitting on my salary that I came in here. But remember, the more you expand, the more expenses you have, the more machines you have to buy, the more. So, you know, so those are the things that are actually affecting us to say now, the person feels, no matter how much you are creating that family that we are talking about, we are doing that because that is important. But then once they see this expansion happening, then it becomes a problem. They feel like, no, you are not doing enough. But remember, the intention is to make sure that the business grows and grows with them as well.
So you feel that as much as you're trying to solve the unemployment, you're also getting challenges that you guys are not winning with them because there's more that's expected from you guys.
It's true. Very true.
You know, it becomes a challenge if someone comes into the business and then they sell you false hope or something. I don't know how to put it, because that's what's happening. People, they come in because they are hungry, then they sell us false hope. And then 2 weeks down the line, then now it feels the stomach is a bit full, and then they feel
And then we need better. We need better. We don't need these companies too small for us. You have trained them, you've given them experience, you've given them exposure and whatnot. And now they feel either they become your competition or they're going for bigger opportunities, as they call. So that's basically what we are talking about.
I had recently, I had a problem like when you're saying I must not duplicate myself, I must get someone and train them. Okay, I trusted my employee, gave the employee a card to the bank. Then the employee, before buying the card to buy product, instead of him going to buy products, started a bank and withdraw a statement just to look at how much do I have.
Yes.
Then came back the next 2 days. I'm not finding any longer payment. Yeah, we're working here.
Do they have contracts?
Yeah, we have a contract, but we only contract we even discussed me and I. But I trusted your employee
They trust
enough. Then we cut to a bike supply. Instead of going straight to the supply, went to the bank to
Remember now,
so those are the challenges we always face. But we somehow have developed a strategy whereby I was used to lose my employees like now and then. But now, the first week I said that employee will only get paid after the next one. So
you pay wages, not salaries.
Yeah, like if this was maybe earning a fortnight, the first week I said that the money we told after the next fortnight.
Okay.
So it's working like Imalelo. Not really. I was in criminal strategy, being employees like Monday to Friday. By Monday, it's holy.
I see.
Then I says, and the product so many effect so I don't know if the strategy is developing.
I think remember
agencies work like that. You go in, you work a week, and then the following week you only get paid for the week that's how they work.
But guys, in Kumbule, this businesses, as much as in Wakala, you still need to grow them. You still need to think, good, 5 years, where do you want to see my business? So you guys, in case I went the first 2 years, you're already experiencing this. You know, as a center, one of our services, it's actually mentorship and coaching. I think now this is where I realize the importance of that. Because at times, whenever we assign mentors and coaching and coaches, for instance, it's actually, instance, maybe for the mentors, they are in that sector mainly, they are more of our experts in the sector that you are in. So they can actually come in with this intervention.
To the employees' side of things, because remember, they are mentoring us. Now we know where to go and what to do. And then they are also advising us, this is what you need to do to your employees. Now, here's the key thing. We have created the family bond. And now remember, in my company, you've got a contract, you've got a non-disclosure, you've got all of that you sign. And now you are breaking that. Because we're a family. It breaks my heart now because I'm going to have to let you go at some point. But then you understand the feeling that I'm going to have. That I'm going to have to lose somebody that I've grown for the whole full year. And then I've given her the expertise and whatnot. And they were now close to you. Now you have to let them go. That is so painful for you to, they are losing their job and you know exactly what's going to impact in their lives. But then what do you do in a case like that? So I think your intervention with the mentors should also do with where they will have a part where they bring in the employees to make them have this communication going to say, now if this happens, know that your employer might do this. So that it's maybe acceptable or something. I think maybe...
No, it goes back to what we are saying. It goes back to the part that is played by an incubator. And in ensuring that there are proper systems in place. And by the way I'm picking up from the conversation that, it goes back to the issue of systems. Buddha is talking about the issue of policies. She spoke about non-disclosure. She spoke about policies that need to be developed. And some companies go as far as, if you've trained with us, you must be with us for a year before you can. Obviously, you cannot stop people from one to expand.
But how do you hold them accountable?
How do you go in terms of contracts as well? Now it's contract binding. People don't understand what does it mean to be in a contract. Some they just sign a contract for the sake of. They are poor, they want money, they want to work. Not understanding the obligations that comes with a particular contract. When you say it's a non-disclosure, what does it mean? What does it mean if a person can go and sue you? No. Those kind of things. I think from our side is to be able to then to say, look, bring your staff in, let us explain to them what does this mean, what does it mean in terms of now in terms of HR. You know, you must did you induct them, because one of the critical things, if you employ somebody, you cannot just employ somebody and put them on the job. You must induct that particular person.
Yeah, that
Go
we do,
take them through induction. Yes, there are a lot of issues when people, especially if they see a small business and you want to grow with them. They think that you are using their powers to
climb the ladder.
To climb the ladder. That's the level that they use. But fact of the matter, the reality is you need to employ people in order for you to be able to grow.
Yeah, you can't work alone.
You can't work alone.
But that's why I'm saying the mentorship part has to do with the employees as well. It has to come. I think for me, I want to stress that a lot. They must be trained somehow. There must be somewhere where the center or the support can actually have specific programs that will go specifically for the employees to understand. Because remember, in my company, before you even start, you get through the induction. You get through understanding the policies and the procedures of the company. They are there. They are displayed. Some that needs to be displayed. Whatever that it's signed and all of that. The non-disclosures, it's explained to you. Remember, even if after you have left the company, there are things that you cannot disclose for a certain time about the company, about the director himself, about anything that happens in the company, right? You have that in place. But I'm still saying, remember, the person is breaking that contract, right? And then now you have to put lawsuit on the person that you care so much about. Do you get my point?
Yeah, so on that one, what I understand with this topic is that as an entrepreneurs, you must just start. You will develop all those processes along the way as you encounter the problem. You can't come with a package whereby you think you're going to put in the business, then everything works. No, you will come across those problems whereby employees, they don't comply with some of our rules or making. But as an entrepreneur,
and I think that's part of growth. That's part of growth. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to grow. Those are the hustles that you need to
And I think also it's problems you didn't have when you were starting out. It's problems that you guys are facing now that your businesses are growing. So I think that's the part that I enjoy with you guys. As much as we can have a discussion where it's about ideation, I still want to start a business. Where do I go? What do I do? But then today you guys are having, you're witnessing it firsthand from people who are actually doing it. Yes, some maybe are 6 months old, but then some businesses may be still new, but they start I know with Tulani, as he said that business can still see within 6 months, but it's shooting high, But then these are the experiences that you are going to experience as soon as now your business starts. Maybe you start getting eaten over. You're now having a demand to actually add more staff. There's more sales coming in. How do I manage my sales? So I think the advantage on your side, Melissa, now you just get to know what you need to do and look out for. But then I still, the pandemic is still there. We're still discussing that topic. We're still going to continue on that one just to make sure that we can actually develop strategies and interventions to make sure that small businesses do not fail within this time, the stressful time that the country is facing. But then for now, this is where we're going to leave it. And thank you for tuning in.